Shalom Shaarei Kodesh. As we approach this Shabbat Tzav, Shabbat HaGadol, I wanted to give you a message. And I know I've been giving many messages over the week. I hope you could take a look at them on YouTube and on Facebook. But I wanted to reflect upon the week that we had, actually beginning with Shabbat. So Shabbat HaGadol, the Shabbat that we're about to come into right now, is called the Great Shabbat. And it's called the Great Shabbat because it was the Shabbat that came right before the holiday of Pesach. It was one of two times when the rabbi of the community used to give a Dvar Torah. Usually this one was about how to kasher your homes. Well, things have changed. Now we give, as rabbis, a lot more Divrei Torah. But it does, for me, give me pause to reflect on what the message of the Haftarah is, which is why it's named Shabbat HaGadol. It says, Hinei Anochi sholeach lachem et Eliyahu Hanavi lifnei bo yom Adonai HaGadol v'Hanorah. Lo, I will send the prophet Elijah to you before the coming of the awesome, fearful day of the Lord. Gadol, awesome, Norah, fear. But it's not just fear, it's also awe. And I want to share just a couple things that I've been in awe of in our community. One of them was last Shabbat. We had our first Zoom mitzvah as Drew Lesney, who had planned on having his bar mitzvah in front of our community at Shaarei Kodesh. Had it in front of our community at Shaarei Kodesh, but in front of a computer screen. And he gave us an incredible Dvar Torah that he wrote just for that occasion, connecting our parasha to what we're going through in the COVID-19 pandemic. And I was truly in awe and basked in the greatness of the healers in our community and their families, doctors, nurses, therapists who are on the front lines of this pandemic. I hope you get a chance, if you haven't, to watch this incredible panel that we had on Tuesday evening. And we have a lot more coming up, as you've seen through the emails, including a communal Seder next week, and so much more. This Shabbat, we'll be praying together Friday night and Saturday morning on Zoom, and I'm going to give my Shabbat HaGadol sermon on the idea of Elijah the prophet. What can Elijah teach us this year and for the coming year? But I wanted to go back to Shabbat HaGadol and the parsha this week, which is Tzav. And it's from the book of Leviticus. In Tzav, we read about all the different types of offerings, but one offering really stuck out to me, an offering that I wish we could give. It's the Todah offering, the offering of thanksgiving. The offering of thanksgiving was an expression of gratitude, and it was given when we survived a life-threatening situation. In our communities, we have this ritual where people bench gomel. They recite a special prayer in front of the community, thanking God for redeeming them from danger, especially after a long trip or a stay in the hospital, a surgery, or even surviving a car crash, anything. But we're not ready to bench gomel yet. We are still in the midst of this pandemic, of this crisis. We are still living in danger. That is why we are separated from each other physically, but we are not separated spiritually. It's always good to prepare for and look forward to the day when we will state our gratitude together. As we read about the Todah offering, an animal sacrifice of a sheep or a goat is given. We see that it's also offered with matzah, unleavened bread. In my eyes, the matzah is the simplest of bread, a symbol for how one feels after surviving a life-threatening situation. We feel smaller than we once did, no longer as puffed up with pride as we were, realizing our place, a little bit humble. But the Todah offering, although made by the individual, had to be eaten on the day of the sacrifice, and therefore it had to be shared with others. Just like Birkat HaGomel, the person who offers the sacrifice was soon after reminded that they are not alone because they gave this prayer in front of a community, so too that person. We all realize something. We're part of something greater. As alone as many of us feel right now, as scared as we are, we must never forget this. we are not alone. We are part of something greater. We were before this crisis, we are now during this crisis, and we will be after it is over. I wish you all a Shabbat Shalom, and I look forward to seeing you all soon.